I covered the rent with my emergency fund again. Skylar forgot to pay it, third time in 6 months. I came home with gas station dinner and a headache. She looked at the food and said, "Wow, you really know how to make poverty taste worse." Then she threw it in the trash. "Try again tomorrow, idiot," she sneered. That night I realized I wasn't a husband, just a wallet with a pulse. This morning she called, crying and begging. I never thought I'd be a sad sack posting my life online. But here I am at 2:47 a.m. in my car, in a 24-hour grocery store parking lot. I can't stomach going back to my house tonight. Funny how fast life turns into a Reddit post. It started with the rent again. Skylar's one job is transferring money to the landlord. It takes 90 seconds. She doesn't work yet, she forgot, third time in 6 months. My landlord texted about the late fee, $65 wasted. Like the $130 from her previous forgets. Money we can't afford to lose. I'm used to it though. I called Skylar from work, mid-12-hour shift. We're short-staffed, corporate speak for not hiring enough. She gave the usual excuses, got distracted, portals confusing. Said she has so much on her plate. She's been unemployed for 14 months. Her plate is TikTok and Netflix. I transferred the rent from my emergency fund again. It had $8,000 2 years ago. Now it's down to $712. Her forgetting is our most common emergency. Driving home, my head pounded like a drum. Exhausted, hadn't eaten since my sad desk lunch at 11. Stopped at a gas station near our apartment. Grabbed pre-made sandwiches, chips, 2 sodas. Not gourmet, but it'd do. Walked in at 8:23 p.m. Skylar was on the couch, scrolling her phone. The apartment was a mess. Dishes piled in the sink, 3 days worth I'd guess. Trash overflowing. Laundry I'd asked her to wash, still in the hamper. I was too tired to fight. Put the food on the coffee table. Mumbled something about dinner. Skylar glanced up from her phone. Looked at the food and said it. "Wow, you really know how to make poverty taste worse." I froze, couldn't move. Did she just say that? After I covered rent, worked 12 hours while she did nothing. Before I could respond, she swept the food onto the floor. The soda exploded across the carpet. "Try again tomorrow, idiot," she said. Something inside me clicked. Like solving a puzzle, seeing the whole picture. We've been married 4 years. I've never been a husband, just a wallet with a pulse. I've paid for everything since day one. At first she was between jobs. Then finding her passion. Then the job market was competitive. Then burnout. Excuses changed, reality didn't. My paycheck in, nothing out. Her spending never slowed. New clothes, expensive skincare, constant food delivery. Cooking's so draining, she says. When I mention it, I'm the bad guy. Financially abusive for asking where money goes. Controlling for suggesting a budget. Unsupportive for questioning her $300 shoes. Watching soda seep into the carpet, I'll clean, something died. Or maybe woke up, I don't know. I didn't yell or argue. Turned around, walked out. Got in my car, drove away. Left her with her phone, attitude and mess. Drove aimlessly, ended up in this parking lot. Writing this post on my phone. I have nobody to talk to, Skylar made sure of that. My friends were losers, my family toxic. Everyone who had my back became problematic. My phone's been blowing up for an hour. Her texts, first angry, "Where TF are you?" Then manipulative, "I'm scared, come home." Then gaslighting, "You're overreacting, it was a joke." Now tearful apologies, "I'm so sorry, baby. Please come home, I didn't mean it." I haven't responded. I've been doing math, cold hard math. 4 years I've paid $192,000 for living expenses, bills, her spending. She contributed $18,000 from brief work. That's just finances. Not the emotional labor, housework I do despite full-time work. The walking on eggshells, lost friends, missed family events. The dreams I put on hold. I've been in denial for 4 years. Told myself it'd get better. When she found a job, when we had more money, when she was less stressed. Always when. Watching her throw food in the trash, calling me an idiot, I saw the truth. There is no when. This is who she is. This is who we were. I'm done being a walking ATM. Tomorrow, I'll open a new bank account at a different bank. Redirect my direct deposit. Call a lawyer. Figure out what divorce looks like after funding her life. I don't know what she'll do when the money stops. Maybe call her terrible parents, who she takes birthday checks from. Maybe get a job. Or find another sucker to fund her lifestyle. Not my problem anymore. I'm 28, planning my exit from a one-sided marriage. I feel relieved, like I can breathe for the first time in years. Anyone been through this? Advice on protecting myself financially in a divorce? When Skylar realizes her meal ticket's gone, it'll get ugly fast. Thanks for the support on my last post. Waking up to hundreds of comments was validating. Depressing too, thousands of us walking ATMs out there. It's been 16 days since the gas station dinner incident. 16 days of financial warfare with spreadsheets, not weapons. The morning after posting, I went to a credit union across town. Opened new accounts. The desk lady gave me concerned looks. I mumbled why I needed accounts Skylar couldn't access. She slid a form over, said she'd seen this before. No judgment, just efficiency. It hit me, this happens so often they have a process. I redirected my direct deposit for the next pay period. Left enough in our joint account for immediate bills. Spent 3 days making spreadsheets. Not just budgets, full forensic accounting of our marriage. 4 years of transactions sorted, categorized, noted. The results were illuminating. Last year, Skylar spent $11,642 on clothes, makeup, personal items. Almost $1,000 a month. While I worked overtime, ate ramen for lunch to make ends meet. Ends that weren't meeting. We had $8,300 in credit card debt I didn't know about. Her forgot to pay moments weren't just rent. I printed everything, color-coded, with sticky tabs. If I was blowing up my marriage, I'd do it with organized evidence. Seeing 4 years of financial abuse in Excel was wild. I wanted to throw up, then high-five myself for seeing the truth. 3 days after the incident, I went home. Skylar had transformed. The apartment was spotless. She'd made my favorite dinner. Wore makeup, the expensive stuff she saves for wanting something. The manipulation was obvious, almost cute. Like a toddler lying about cookies with chocolate on their face. I sat at the kitchen table. Placed my binder of financial evidence between us. Talked calmly. Said I knew about the credit card debt. I'd redirected my paycheck. Calculated what I'd cover, what she needed to contribute. For 30 seconds, she stared. Like her brain couldn't process me standing up. Then came Waterworks accusations, promises to change. The classic manipulation trifecta. I'd seen it so many times, it felt scripted. This time, I didn't fold. I had my binder, and enough anger to power a city. When crying failed, she switched tactics. Brought up her friend Lindsay's rough patch with her husband. How they worked it out. Marriage is supporting each other, she said. She'd get a job tomorrow, if it made me happy. I flipped to page 23 of my binder. Her previous promises to find work, dated, categorized by excuse. Things got ugly. She called me every name in the book. Said I was financially abusing her by controlling money. Called me cheap, pathetic. Said she stayed out of pity. The weirdest part, hearing it out loud made me feel better. Like she was finally honest for once. I moved into the spare room that night. Set up a depression nest, as my buddy Lawson calls it. Mattress on the floor, laptop, enough clothes. Not much but mine. I slept through the night, no money anxiety for the first time in years. The next week was like living with a stranger. Skylar cycled through personalities to find one that worked. One day sweet, making coffee, asking about my day. Next cold, slamming doors, sighing dramatically. Then practical, job search sites asking for resume help. I stayed polite but distant. Answered direct questions minimally. Didn't take the bait for fights. Learned gray rocking online, be boring, unresponsive. It stops manipulators from trying. It worked. Real changes hit when the money ran out. A week after redirecting my paycheck, her card got declined. I heard her on the phone, trying different cards, frustrated. Next day, same problem online. That afternoon, car insurance was due. She'd always handled it with joint money. Now there wasn't enough. Reality set in, one declined transaction at a time. 2 nights ago, she cornered me in the kitchen. Demanded to know what I'd done. I explained calmly, I'm paying 50% of shared expenses. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, nothing more. If she wanted spending money, she'd need to contribute. Her face transformed, shock, disbelief, rage, calculation, defeat. In 15 seconds flat. Yesterday morning, I found a note on the counter. She was staying with her friend Aurora to think about things. Took her laptop, make up a week's clothes. The apartment feels bigger now. Like her anger and entitlement took up physical space. I can breathe in it. I'm not naive, this isn't over. Skylar won't let her meal ticket go without a fight. But I'm not afraid anymore. I've got my binder, separate accounts. Most importantly, confirmation I'm not crazy. Expecting an adult to act like one isn't wrong. My lawyer, a no-nonsense woman like my aunt, says I'm solid. We're renters, no kids. Joint debt sucks, but no property together. She's drawing up separation papers. Splitting debts based on who incurred them. Skylar's about to learn spa days and clothes weren't free. I should feel sad, my marriage is ending. But I feel like I've dropped a backpack of rocks. My shoulders are lighter. Aurora texted today, Skylar wants to meet. Says she's been crying, realizes what she's done. I agree to a coffee shop tomorrow, neutral ground. Where she can't throw my dinner or scream without embarrassment. This'll be an Oscar-worthy performance. Tears, promises, maybe strategic cleavage. I'm going in with clear eyes and exit strategy. I'm not going back to being an ATM with a pulse. That guy died when my dinner hit the trash. It happened, she ordered a $12 latte. Might seem like a weird detail. But her dropping $12 on coffee while crying about being broke. It summed up our relationship perfectly. The coffee shop meeting was predictable. She looked like a sad music video star. Slightly smudged mascara, artfully tousled hair. Wore the blue sweater I said brought out her eyes. The manipulation was almost impressive. For 2 hours she cycled through greatest hits. Tears, promises, guilt trips. Even hinted her coworker Gage finds her attractive. Calculated to make me a hero or villain. 4 years ago, it would have worked. 4 weeks ago, maybe. But with my lawyer's advice and 16 days of peace, I saw it. A con artist whose favorite mark got wise. I slid the separation agreement across the table. Gave her 2 choices, sign and handle it like adults. Or fight, spend her money on legal fees. The agreement was fair. I offered 60% of joint credit card debt. Despite my spreadsheet showing she caused most. She didn't read it, pushed it back. Said we could work it out if I stopped being petty about money. Classic Skylar, treating a financial bomb like a small spat. I left her talking about starting fresh. Walked out mid-sentence. Felt like a movie, but no dramatic music. Just coffee shop patrons avoiding the crying woman. That was 37 days ago. Life's been chaotic but improving. Like detoxing from a 4-year addiction. First weeks were brutal, nightmares, second-guessing. Staring at my phone, tempted to call and take it back. Then a plot twist, Aurora reached out. Skylar's friend wasn't as supportive as she thought. After 2 weeks of Skylar's stories using Aurora's food and space, Aurora questioned her. Noticed discrepancies. Found me on social media, messaged me. We met for coffee, I got dripped $5. I'm still fixing marriage damage. Aurora admitted Skylar badmouthed me for years. Painted herself as a suffering wife with a loser husband. The inverse of reality. Aurora had receipts. Screenshots of Skylar bragging in group chats. How she trained me to cover bills while keeping her money. Shopping spree pics captioned, "Hubby doesn't know law." Texts whining about faking job searches to keep me off her back. 4 years of my marriage explained in toxic texts. I didn't feel angry, just validated. Like confirming I wasn't crazy. Aurora apologized for believing Skylar's lies. Said she saw red flags but dismissed them. Skylar was convincing. Then she offered to be a witness if divorce got ugly. Said she couldn't watch someone get used. Not everyone's moral compass is broken like Skylar's. Reality hit Skylar like a freight train 3 weeks later. Her cards maxed out. Her parents, normal people not monsters, refused more money. They were tired of funding her. Aurora asked her to pay rent or leave. Then the calls started, 3, 4, 5 a day. Voicemails, sobbing apologies to vicious threats. Texts, "I miss you baby," to "you'll die alone and miserable." The emotional whiplash was exhausting. My lawyer prepped me. Document everything, respond minimally, don't engage crazy. I did just that. Then came moving day, I dreaded it. Got a small studio across town. Clean, decent water pressure, my name alone on the lease. Planned to grab my stuff while Skylar was at a job interview. Her first in months, conveniently when she needed rent money. She wasn't at an interview. She was waiting in our apartment, on the couch. Like a final boss in a game I didn't want to play. I almost laughed, of course she'd ambush me. Of course she'd make it harder. Of course she wore that blue sweater again. My buddy Holden, there to help, tensed up. He'd heard stories, now saw the Skylar show live. 2 uncomfortable hours followed. Skylar helped pack dishes, weird. Accidentally dropped things I cared about, predictable. Made small talk with Holden like we were friends, awkward. Asked about my new place, I kept it vague. I waited for the explosion, screaming, thrown objects. It never came. As I carried the last box, she handed me an envelope. Said she'd been thinking. Inside was the signed separation agreement. No changes, no negotiation, her signature on every line. I stared, expecting it to explode. After weeks of fighting, she gave in. It didn't compute. That night, on my new mattress on the floor, I got a text from Aurora. It explained everything. Skylar met a guy at a bar, nice watch, fancy car. He thought her controlling ex stories were sympathetic. Offered her a place to stay till she got back on her feet. She'd found a new ATM. Divorcing me fast was in her interest. I should have felt relieved, and part of me did. But I also wanted to warn the guy. Show him my spreadsheet screenshots. Save him from what I escaped. I didn't. Some lessons you learn the hard way. The weeks since have been strangely normal. I go to work, come home to my tidy studio. Rebuilding my emergency fund, up to $1,012 now. Learning to cook beyond bachelor skills. Got a budgeting app that doesn't make me rage quit. The divorce finalized last week. No drama, no court, just paperwork. A surreal emptiness seeing dissolved, stamped on my commitment. I wish I had profound wisdom. But I'm still processing. Still reaching for my phone to text her something funny. Still waking confused when she's not beside me. 4 years of habits don't vanish overnight. But I'm finding dormant parts of myself. Rejoined my gaming group. Talking to my sister again. Bought concert tickets without budgeting for ramen. Last night I ordered takeout, basic Chinese food. Ate orange chicken from the container on my secondhand couch. Watched YouTube on my laptop. Had a moment of perfect, ordinary contentment. No one judged my food choice. No one spent money we didn't have. No one made me feel small for existing. I wasn't rich or wildly successful. Not fully healed but free. I tipped the delivery guy 20%. Some of us value other people's work. That's it for updates, unless something wild happens. Thanks for listening, Reddit. Who knew a gas station dinner would change my life?